In today's video, I'll show you 5 reasons why the Sony ZV-E10 is still a great content creation camera choice in 2023. Undoubtedly, the abundance of E-mount lenses is the most compelling reason to consider the ZV-E10 in 2023. Despite being an APS-C camera, there is a wide range of lenses available to suit any budget. You have Sigma, Tamron, Viltrox, and of course, Sony lenses. Furthermore, if you decide to upgrade your ZV-E10 to a full-frame camera in the future, your APS-C lenses will almost certainly continue to work on your new full-frame camera. I don't believe there's a camera brand with a more mature lens lineup than Sony, and it is a very strong reason to choose Sony over other brands. Fujifilm comes very close, but their lenses are not the best to use for video, in my opinion. Even though the Sony ZV-E10 is still using a sensor from like 2017, I think the image quality it delivers is fantastic, especially when shooting in log. Of course, it isn't perfect, it can only shoot in 8-bit and has poor rolling shutter performance. However, for the price of the ZV-E10, it is still very good, especially if you are a beginner. The only cameras that come close, if not outperform it in terms of image quality, are the Canon R50 and the Nikon Z30. However, both fall short in some areas, such as lens selection, unless you're willing to use an adapter with the Canon R50 and old EFS lenses. If you know of any cameras in the same price range as the ZV-E10 that offers superior image quality, please let me know in the comment section down below. When it comes to autofocus, nobody can deny that Sony hasn't nailed it, especially with the ZV-E10. It has eye and face tracking, it's reliable, quick and precise. Furthermore, most Sony lenses, including third-party ones, are very well optimized for video autofocus. The majority of them are silent, accurate and reliable. When it comes to autofocus, the ZV-E10 has never disappointed me. The Canon R50 or M50 Mark II may be comparable in terms of autofocus performance, but the APS-C lens selection on the RF mount is limited, and Canon, in my opinion, will no longer invest in the old M50 Mark II EFM mount system. This one will differ from person to person, however, in real-life scenarios, the ZV-E10 has never overheated on me. I shot long clips with it in my studio and outside without any overheating problems. I believe this camera is very reliable and most people should not have any overheating issues with it. However, your experience with this camera may differ. Perhaps you'll be filming for long periods of time outside and the camera will overheat. In this case, I would recommend looking into the more expensive Sony FX30, which has a built-in cooling fan. Again, I never experienced any overheating issues with the ZV-E10. I believe that for someone who films YouTube videos indoors or even vlogging outside, this camera will perform flawlessly without any overheating problems. However, if you own this camera and have experienced any overheating issues with it, please share your experience in the comment section below. The ZV-E10 weighs only 364 grams and is so small that even with a lens attached, it could probably fit in your pocket. The small size also helps when mounting it on tripods, gimbals, or desk mounts. You won't need to buy a large tripod to provide stable support. Almost any compact gimbal should work with it, and using it as an overhead camera is a breeze. Not to mention that it fits easily into almost any bag, even with a lens attached. The only downside to this small form factor is the poor battery life performance of the NP-FW50 battery. Aside from that, I think that having a small camera for creating content on the go is very practical. To summarize, I think that the Sony ZV-E10 is still a very viable option for content creation in 2023. Of course, it isn't perfect. The battery life and display quality aren't great. It has a terrible rolling shutter performance. It crops heavily when using active steady shot, and the old menu system is outdated and frustrating. However, if you're a beginner or need a budget E-mount big camera, the ZV-E10 is an excellent value for content creators and vloggers in 2023. Otherwise, you might want to look into the new Canon R50. It looks pretty cool, but personally I prefer the E-mount ecosystem. Thanks for watching.